Ah, the human mind, a masterpiece of contradictions. On one hand, we have positive psychology, the feel-good TED Talk version of the psyche, where everything is about gratitude journals and rewiring your brain for happiness. And on the other, well, let's just say dark psychology is that manipulative, Machiavellian villain lurking in the back of your head, ready to gaslight its way to the top. But here's the twist. What if I told you that ignoring your darker side might be holding you back? Enter shadow work, the missing piece in the balance of both worlds. Today, we're going deep, real deep, into the angel, demon, and hidden self-battle that is your mind. Buckle up. What are these two beasts? Positive psychology, dark psychology, and shadow work. Positive psychology, born out of the need to not have every therapy session feel like a funeral, is all about enhancing well-being, resilience, and self-growth. You know, those cheery 5 a.m. ice bath and gratitude affirmations influencers swear by. Dark psychology, on the other hand, is less about growth and more about control. It's the psychological toolkit of con artists, corporate overlords, and that one ex who knew exactly what to text to make you doubt your entire existence. We're talking manipulation, deception, and power. Think Machiavelli meets modern-day social media algorithms. And then we have shadow work, the art of integrating your unconscious desires, fears, and suppressed emotions. Carl Jung believed that by facing our shadows instead of repressing them, we could achieve wholeness. It's about understanding your inner darkness, so it doesn't control you from the sidelines. The science behind the smiles, shadows, and strategy. The magic happens up here. Positive psychology runs on neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, your brain's natural thumbs-up chemicals. Gratitude exercises, meditation, and acts of kindness make them flow like a self-help guru's bank account after a new book launch. Dark psychology? Oh, it's a different cocktail. It taps into fear responses, cortisol spikes, and good old-fashioned evolutionary survival tactics. Ever wonder why con artists thrive? Because deep down, our reptilian brain loves power and fears rejection more than an unpaid therapy bill. Now, shadow work? That's where things get personal. It's about uncovering subconscious patterns, why you self-sabotage, why you attract toxic people, why you repeat destructive cycles. The goal? A truce between your light and dark self. When done right, it turns your weaknesses into strengths. Everyday examples. Who wins? Positive psychology approach. I believe in teamwork, passion, and bringing positive energy to the workplace. Dark psychology approach, fake smile. I researched the hiring manager's LinkedIn, found out they love golf, and subtly worked it into conversation. Got the job before I walked in. Shadow work approach. I've acknowledged my self-doubt, worked through past failures, and I'm bringing my most authentic, confident self to this interview, without manipulation. Let's be real. In an ideal world, the positive psych guy would win. But in this world, the dark psych genius who studied body language and used strategic flattery is walking out employed. However, the shadow work approach, long-term success with self-awareness, without needing deceit. Imagine a scenario of dating app conversation. Positive psych. Hey, I love hiking. What's your favorite trail? Dark psych. Oh wow, I just read your bio, and I feel like we were meant to meet. Crazy coincidence. I love the same obscure book you mentioned. Shadow work. I know my attachment patterns, I'm aware of my red flags, and I'm choosing to approach this connection with honesty, not games. Newsflash, love bombing works until it doesn't. Positive psychology plays the long game. Dark psychology speeds past it, but often crashes harder than a teenage romance. Shadow work? That's where self-respect meets emotional intelligence. The ethics of it all. Okay, here's where things get juicy. Is one of these inherently better than the other? Not really. Positive psychology gives you fulfillment, but dark psychology gets you results, and shadow work gives you balance. Ideally, you'd use all three. Be mindful, grateful, strategic, and self-aware. Ethical manipulation is a thing, like using psychological principles to become a better negotiator, not a cult leader. And positive psychology? It's fantastic, unless you're ignoring red flags under the delusion that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes the reason is that someone is just a terrible person. But what happens when you deny your shadow self? You repeat cycles, sabotage success, or let unprocessed emotions dictate your choices. Facing your shadow is not about glorifying manipulation. It's about reclaiming the parts of yourself you've buried. So, what is the best way forward? How do we navigate this tightrope? Here's the deal. Leverage positive psychology to build resilience. Train your brain to handle setbacks with mindfulness, gratitude, and self-improvement. But don't let it turn into toxic positivity where you ignore reality. Understand dark psychology to protect yourself. Recognizing manipulation tactics doesn't mean you have to use them. It means you don't fall for them. Whether it's in business, relationships, or negotiations, awareness is power. Understand dark psychology to protect yourself. Recognizing manipulation tactics doesn't mean you have to use them. It means you don't fall for them. Whether it's in business, relationships, or negotiations, awareness is power. Integrate shadow work to master yourself. Own your flaws, recognize your blind spots, and channel your darker traits constructively. This is self-acceptance on steroids. Avoid the pitfalls of extremes. Too much positive psych? You become a gullible optimist. Too much dark psych? You become a ruthless sociopath. No shadow work? You repeat your worst behaviors. The best balance? Be strategic, but have a conscience. Recovering from setbacks. If you've been manipulated or have leaned too far into dark tactics yourself, the key is self-awareness and recalibration. Reflect, adapt, and use what you've learned to move forward without repeating the same mistakes. So who are you? Be honest. Which side speaks to you more? Are you the self-improvement type, the strategic mastermind, or the one finally ready to face your own shadow? Maybe, just maybe, the best version of you is the one who understands all three. And if you made it this far, congratulations! You either love learning or my voice is hypnotically engaging. Either way, like, subscribe, and don't let anyone gaslight you, unless it's for a really, really good reason.